a lot of well, thank you all. And now I'd like to introduce Irene and Dan. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Irene Loray.
And I am Daniel Murphy.
We are the founders of the Brooklyn affiliate of Move to Amend. We want to spread the word about the need to get money out of politics. We believe that corporate and billionaire contributions to candidates and issues have tilted the balance of power from the people to corporations and billionaires. The money that flows into our political system has corrupted our processes and undermines our democracy. Move to Amend is a nonpartisan coalition of organizations and individuals working to pass an amendment to the Constitution. There are 93 congresspersons signed on, and we have almost 500,000 signatures to our petition. We want to overturn Citizens United, end corporate personhood, and codify in the Constitution that money is not speech. We are the people, and we, the people, demand a real democracy.
In 2010, the Supreme Court in the Citizens United case expanded the idea of personhoods to corporations. In other words, corporations were given the same rights and protections as people under the Constitution. The court also identified money as speech. Think about this madness. If money is speech and if corporations are persons, money donated by corporate persons is also protected by the Constitution. This makes the mess we're living in all quite legal. In a later case, SCOTUS went even further and allowed super PACs unrestricted donations to political campaigns, provided that they, quote, do not name or give directly to the candidate, but give money only for expenses. Plus, super PACs don't have to identify their donors. Backers of a proposal or a candidate could be anti-democratic persons or organizations, or even a hostile foreign government. This is a grave threat to democracy. Dark money obscures who's behind the scenes, pulling strings for agendas that do not promote the people's interest. Because of super PACs, the floodgates of questionable donations have been weaponized to influence and corrupt our political system.
The Roberts Court did not even notice that the Constitution begins with the words, "we the people," not "we the corporations." It did not occur to them that the founding fathers were talking about people and not corporations. In fact, the word corporation does not appear once in the Constitution. Let's look at the preamble together. I'm sure you know it. You could say it with me if you like. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States. You plus me, that's we, the people. This is my favorite phrase in all American history. We, the people. And the founding fathers followed it with talk of liberty, justice, and the general welfare. It's hard to beat that.
You want to live in a country that believes in those principles? These principles? I do. And I believe that every member of the Society for Ethical Culture does as well. The question is, do we still live in such a country, or have we moved closer and closer to an oligarchy, where a small group of wealthy and powerful call the shots, elite wealth and influence is gained and maintained by legal donations through super PACs to get votes they need to pass the legislation and policies that benefit their corporate agendas. It's a vicious cycle. So what can we do? Move to Amend wants to get the money out of politics by means of an amendment. We need to stop the money that fuels and perpetuates our foundational problems and keeps our dysfunctions going. The right that Citizens United has given to corporations should be reserved for the people only and not given to artificial entities that are created by the states and should be regulated by them as well. If it were our goal to undermine democracy, the Supreme Court would have given us the perfect runway. Power and influence that should be in the hands of people are now wielded by big businesses and billionaires, and the people be damned.
Corporations aren't real people. They're artificial entities created by the states. They are against government regulations that protect the environment, for example, because it makes the cost of production too high and profits lower. They don't want government interference in their businesses, only in women's vagina, you'll notice. Billionaires don't need health care and Social Security, so why protect them? Trust me, they're coming for these expensive entitlements because without having to pay for them, they can finagle more tax breaks for themselves. They don't want reasonable gun control because they want the donations of a corrupt NRA. Too many states don't want voting rights because they know they can't win elections fairly. They need to steal them by using partisan redistricting and restricting access to the polls, making it difficult for the poor and people of color to make their voices heard. Jim Crow is alive and well and living in Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and Arizona.
Large companies have tremendous resources and are able to spend vast amounts of money to influence elections, policy, and regulations. As Justice Stevens pointed out, a democracy cannot function effectively when its members believe its laws are being bought and sold. The 99% isn't able to compete with the money and resources of the 1%. Corporations are not about the people, the country, or the general welfare. Corporations are about making money. There's nothing wrong with that, except if it's at the cost of the general welfare. Corporations are concerned with a profitable bottom line and answer to their shareholders. Democracy requires that they are regulated by the government and not the other way around. What kind of country do you want to live in? A country that's about we the people, or a country that's run by a small and out of touch corporate elite? Move to Amend wants to build a vibrant democracy accountable to people and not big businesses and billionaires. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Democracy is a two-way street between we the people and government. We must participate by voting and making our voices heard. We must demand accountability from our elected representatives. Our founding fathers revolutionized history. They created a new nation and by the people and for the people. They changed the world's conception of nationhood. They started a new era and created a model for other nations to emulate. The United States is the world's oldest democracy. In 1789, our Constitution and government was revolutionary and ahead of the times. Now, we've lost our luster, it seems, and we're going backwards. We're retracting rather than expanding the rights and freedoms to people in favor of a corporate elite following a bottom line. All deserve the equal protection of the law. Let's move to amend and get the dark money out of politics. Let's stop corporations and billionaires from drowning out the will of the people.
Our democracy is being undone by an overactive judiciary and obstructive elected officials that ignore the will of the people. It's time to stop our slide into an abyss of intolerance, despotism, and injustice. It is up to us to continue this great experiment. You and me, we the people together. We have to make sure our democracy continues. And that leads us to the two requests we want to make today. First, that the Brooklyn Society for Ethical Culture endorses the We the People Amendment. And secondly, that everyone here signs the move to amend petition right now. It's simple and straightforward, and it says, we the people of the United States of America reject the Supreme Court's ruling of Citizens United and other related cases. And we move to amend our Constitution to firmly establish that money is not speech and that human beings and not corporations are persons entitled to constitutional rights. Now, Danny put a link in the chat, and you could go right now on your phones and sign the petition for this. Danny, you want to explain to people how they do it? Because, it's only my second time using the computer. Nope, just kidding.
So it's very easy. Well, it depends on what kind of device you have in your hand. If you're on your computer, you just go into chat, and I have just sent a link. You just click on that link, and the rest is self-explanatory. Actually, what I can do right now, if you'll allow me to share the screen, I can show you, and it'll take about 60 seconds to show you how this is done. I want permission from someone in charge to share the screen.
Tachi, can we give them share screen permission?
I can already if I'm a co-host.
Yes,
You do.
I think you do.
you do, yeah.
I might have overpromised because now I have to find the share screen button. Hold on.
We got it. We got it. Take your time.
Let's share screen. So let me know when you can see what I see. Can everyone see this?
We can
Yes,
see it.
Okay, so that's the move to amend website. I recommend it because I feel like we're preaching to the choir, so to speak, a little bit in terms of what we're asking. And we're all on the same, I mean, we all have different opinions, but we're all on the same page, clearly, on getting dark money out of politics and broadening the definition of democracy and expanding the rights of people instead of retracting them. So in that sense, I feel like we're in a safe space. But I always recommend that you do some background reading on what we're asking for before you sign anything. So move to amend has a lot of information about that. There's also information off this page, but on other pages about the amendment to get money out of politics and restore personhood to people and not corporations. But once you've decided, you can just go straight to move to amend /org/motion, and you'll go right to this page where you can put your name and information about it and essentially put it in. It's a form letter, but it is you. But the most important thing is it is your name. You're lending your name and your status as a resident of Brooklyn, as a civic-minded person, as a citizen of the United States, to basically get this done. So it's a very important thing. Do not discount your own importance in this. This is really the only way we're going to get this done. If we get it's got to be grassroots. We're not going to get corporate sponsorship for an amendment to take away personhoods for corporations. So with that, I'll stop sharing, and Irene and I can take questions.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll all go to the website to sign up. Before we have questions, it might be a good time to pause and hear another song from Dupre and Barry, and people can prepare their questions.